Now that we know that a president can, without Congress, without going back to Congress, because who knew? There's a fund that Congress has pre-appropriated, as you will know as a former congressional staffer, that sits there in case there are settlements that the government needs to make, so they don't have to keep going back to Congress every time. Donald Trump has now tasked his Justice Department to dip into that settlement fund to the tune of, and you gave me this information, $1,776, 1776, in order to give reparations to the insurrectionists. Well, now that we know, sis, the next time there's a Democratic president, I don't want to hear anything about them not being able to do reparations. I don't want to hear it anymore. Okay, so now that we understand the uses of power, we get to apply to that too. So the next time there's a Democratic president, we don't want to have a commission. We don't want to have Congress do a study. We don't want anyone to do a study. You are going to start issuing reparations to the descendants of African, formerly enslaved African people, to the Tulsa survivors,
formerly enslaved African people. It's why we gotta watch who we let speak for us. Language is everything. Shout out to my boy Aaron. Language is everything. And the language that she's talking, we not for that.
Might have to drop a dime on this.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
You gotta stop it.
I don't like that shit.
For sure, bro.
I don't like that shit.
All right, y'all, we back with another video, man. Y'all know how we do. Always pushing health, wealth, and to better understand yourself. So check this out, y'all. In this video, we going over Tom Seyer, okay? FBA out there in Cali. Shout out to everybody in Cali who be holding me down on this channel. FBA out there in Cali checks a Democratic candidate, okay, who running for governor. And they're saying reportedly he gave $50,000, okay, to a toxic anti-black platform. I'm gonna play y'all this video when they checking them. And this is the time where we're checking people. We're checking. Listen, if you doing things that's not on code, we have to call it out and get straight in 2026. Because if we let this keep going on, we gotta nip it in the bud. Anything we see that people ain't holding, they not respecting us, we gotta right there on the spot. But without further ado, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, push me on the algorithm. I greatly appreciate that. Let's get it.
Don't put your motherfucking hands on.
Let him go!
Fuck you and JC Rowe. Hey, look at you,
Reverse, brother. What's your position on reparations, Tom Seyer? You said cut the check. What's your position on reparations? In 2020, you said you were going to cut the check. What's your position on reparations, Tom Seyer? What's your position on reparations? In 2020, you said you know about cut the check. So how are you going to cut the check? What's your position on reparations?
You know who I am. We can say what the fuck we want to say. Fuck you and JC Rowe. We can say what the fuck we want to say. Who want to get something? Let's go. I'm sick of you motherfuckers. What's going on? I got these white males in here thinking ain't nothing gonna happen. Don't do that motherfucking call. You can say what the fuck we want to say. Don't call on God now. Oh my, don't call on God now. What you mean what is wrong with that? Oh, that must be a light-skinned sister. Hey, Time Spider, I bet not catch you over here with them devil blue eyes. Now we gonna ride through the ass. We know what the fuck this was. I don't give a fuck what you want to say.
Yeah, I sure am.
I don't give a fuck.
Now, I don't know what happened. This is California, and they don't, it's been a lot of Latino versus black. So from what this video says, it says that he actually paid $50,000 to some anti-black Latino community, which could be very disrespectful. But we're in a time where reparations is not something that we just asking for. It's old, So I heard one of the ladies in the back saying, "How do you feel about reparations, Steiner?" And he said that he was for it. And a lot of the Democratic Party, they're gonna be claiming that they for reparations to get in, probably to get our vote. Then once they get in there, they ain't gonna be talking nothing about reparations.
I mean, not one promise has been kept to Black Americans in this country when every bit of prosperity you enjoy was built on our backs. 400 years of labor for free. And we never got our 40 acres and a mule. And we are still, harmed by practices like redlining and appraisal bias. And so we are long overdue for reparations. I'm proud to be the lead sponsor of H.R. 40. Black folks are certainly deserving of redress. And
HR 40 is trash. Okay, it's a study. Okay, I'm gonna let them, but it's like, listen to this. It's like them playing in our face again.
Reparative work, and one bill will not undo centuries of harm.
I thought immigrants built everything. That's who we should be thankful for, immigrants. You see how the narrative is switching up? Now everything is about Black Americans. And it's more lip service. This is more lip service because HR 40 is not any tangibles. It's not reparations. It's a study about reparations. And I find it funny because when ICE operations was in Minnesota, they immediately came up with a proposal about we should give money to the Somalis that were impacted by those ICE operations. It wasn't no study. It was like, here's a tangible number that we're proposing. And when it came to the Haitians, right, it wasn't a study about extending their TPS status. This is Ayana too. That because of her, they were able to extend the TPS status for the Haitians. But yet we get lip service.
You want to talk about reparations? We pay reparations. What do you mean you want reparations? Our taxpayer dollars, which are mostly white people paying that, goes to, what is it? Affordable housing, government programs, EBT, scholarships, DEI, you guys getting jobs. Holy shit. Let's take all that, factor in the theft, factor in the crime, factor it in the murders, and then we'll talk about reparations on this show. How about that? You probably won't like that, will you? Because you're not going to like the numbers. But we are all, frankly, exhausted.
This is a very ignorant and facetious take on the topic of reparations. Government assistance programs who anybody can apply for, including immigrants who just got here yesterday. Almost nobody qualifies for. It's supposed to be reparations for 400 years of chattel slavery. And what does crime rates have to do with reparations? I'm starting to believe that most people actually don't know what reparative justice actually is. It's supposed to repair something that happened in the past. And I just love how people always make it seem like Black people are the only ones who commit crimes. Like, we're the only, crimes happen in every single community. This is the reason why I will never take the opinion of outsiders into account when talking about Black American issues. There's just not, it's just too unserious.
So y'all see the white woman say that, okay, if we look at our crime stats, that's why it's important that they put, these last shootings that we had, that was at the White House, and I don't know if it was at the White House specifically, but it was one at a dinner for Trump. It's been shootings, right? And it's been Black people. So we always see supremacists always lie on the stats of crime for Black people. So we know this is done to try to, set a precedent on us, so we don't get reparation. I think this all comes hand in hand. It's like they're gonna talk about our crime, talk about what happens that they can see, so it could push people to say, hey man, they're acting like that. They don't even deserve reparations. How we treat them is good. Okay, because look how they acting. So it's making perfect sense to me. Okay, now we're gonna listen to these ladies. They sound like Democrat shields. We know she's one. But check this out about reparations.
President who has decided to not only pardon the insurrectionists that he sent to the United States Capitol January 6, 2021, but also he has now said, I'm going to pardon you. I want you to set your path in order. And I also want to give you some money for doing it, Joy Reid. He said, don't even worry about the $10 billion that I believe the IRS owes me. Let me also ensure that they have money. They can apply to 5 commissioners, Joy, and get paid. But when we ask about HR 40 or reparations, even for a study, they don't want to touch that. What you got, sis?
Apparently, reparations are something that MAGA is in favor of. And now
We don't care about no study. Like, you see how they trying to push that? Like, who gives a damn about a study? Did they do a study when the J6? Did Trump do a study before that? It's like it's so obvious that we got black people that's really trying to stop our progress. It's messed up, man. You know, it's definitely messed up. Let's get it.
now that we know, I think that it's really important for us to act on the information that we have received. Now that we know that a president can, without Congress, without going back to Congress, because who knew? You know, there's a fund that Congress has pre-appropriated, as you will know as a former congressional staffer, that sits there in case there are settlements that the government needs to make, so they don't have to keep going back to Congress every time. Donald Trump has now tasked his Justice Department to dip into that settlement fund to the tune of, and you gave me this information, $1,776, in order to give reparations to the insurrectionists. Well, now that we know, sis, the next time there's a Democratic president, I don't want to hear anything about them not being able to do reparations. I don't want to hear it anymore. Okay, so now that we understand the uses of power, we get to apply to that too. So the next time there's a Democratic president, we don't want to have a commission. We don't want to have Congress do a study. We don't want anyone to do a study. You are going to start issuing reparations to the descendants of African, formerly enslaved African people, to the Tulsa survivors.
Formerly enslaved African people. It's why we gotta watch who we let speak for us. Language is everything. Shout out to my boy Aaron. Language is everything. And the language that she's talking, we not for that. We ain't for it.
Families, to the families of the survivors of every massacre that has taken place, with the government of the United States either standing aside or participating. Because now we know that we can do reparations. So guess what, Papi and Mami Chulo? The black people are going to.
What you mean now we know that we can do reparations? Y'all could have been did this. They making it seem like now that Trump did this, now they feel like, oh, now we know we can do. Y'all could have been did this. Y'all could have been gave out a hate bill. You gave out a hate bill to Asians. When you talking about all of these massacres that happen in America to Americans, you got a hate bill for Asians. This is crazy. But now they trying to run with our narrative. If y'all see, they're saying now that Democrats is president, so this is the push that they trying to really play with us. They trying to say, oh, now that we Democrat, now that when Democrat get in office, we could just, y'all been in office for so long and ain't never did nothing. And now you think people gonna believe that y'all saying that? Now I think this FBA is getting to them and they really got a problem. And they really trying to control it, but they're done. It's over with. But let me know what y'all think in the comment section, man. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace and love.
A community must have 3 things to have a community in it. You must have a wholly independent economic structure that can provide goods, service, products, and things for your own people, and jobs and tax bases for your own people. You should at least control 4 basic things. You should be trying to control water, food, medicine, and energy to be able to survive and compete.
Here we got Mr. Pollock. He had a cornfield. He took advantage of a free water test from us, and this is what we found in this water. We found sulfur, we found hardness, and we solved these problems with an easy fix of 2 tanks. So get your free water test today. Stay blessed. Click the link below.